When people decide to move to Japan, they almost always say the same thing. Tokyo! It's the default. It's where the jobs are, where the energy is, where Japan feels most like the idea of Japan you had before you got here. I get it. I moved to Japan in 2019, and Tokyo was the first place I landed too. Then I moved to Osaka. My wife grew up there. And the difference between those two versions of Japan is exactly what this video is about. A lot of foreigners who move to Tokyo don't stay there forever, and the reason isn't what you'd expect. This video is about why Tokyo pulls everyone in and what makes some of them leave. If this is useful, hit that like and let's go. Ima, ikimashou! First of all, if you have questions or want more details about any of the topics in this video, please leave a comment below. Okay. Tokyo has 14 million people in the city proper and 37 million in the greater metropolitan area. It is, by almost any measure, the most functional large city on earth. The trains run to the second. The convenience stores are open all night and genuinely convenient. If you need something, a specialist doctor, a specific cuisine, a niche hobby community, an English-speaking accountant, Tokyo has it. And it's accessible within 30 minutes. For foreigners arriving in Japan, this matters more than it sounds. The learning curve here is real. Language, bureaucracy, social norms. There's a lot to figure out. Tokyo absorbs that friction better than anywhere else. The international community is large, the infrastructure is bilingual where it counts, and the sheer density of options means you can build a life while you're still figuring things out. For a career, it's not even close. If you're working in tech, finance, international business, or anything that touches a global company with a Japan office, Tokyo is where those jobs are, full stop. The first thing that surprises people is the size. Not Tokyo size, you knew it was big. The size of the apartment you're going to live in for the price you're going to pay. A decent 1 LDK in central Tokyo ward, Shinjuku, Shibuya, Minato, runs 150 to 200,000 yen per month, sometimes much more. But if you move 20 minutes away from a major station, that number drops. But your commute enters the equation. And commuting in Tokyo is its own thing. The trains are remarkable, but being remarkable and being pleasant are not the same. Peak hours on the Yamanote Line is not a lifestyle most people want 5 days a week, indefinitely. The second thing is a subtler kind of exhaustion. Tokyo is relentlessly stimulating. The density, the noise, the pace. It's exciting for a year or two. For some people, it stays exciting. For others, usually around 2 or 3 years, and the calculus shifts. They start asking, do I need all of this? Could I have most of what matters here for less money, somewhere quieter? That's usually when the conversation about alternatives begins. The most common destination is Osaka. Kansai culture is noticeably different. Louder, more direct, funnier, less status conscious. The food scene is genuinely world class. Rents run 30 to 40% lower than Tokyo, and Osaka, Kyoto, and Kobe form a triangle you can move between in under an hour. Foreigners who leave Tokyo for Osaka often describe it as trading intensity for livability. That's a real trade, and many people decide it's worth it. The next video in this series is going to go deep on Kansai, Osaka, Kyoto, the whole region. Fukuoka is the other name that keeps coming up. It's a city of 1.6 million down in Kyushu. Compact, walkable, internationally minded, and cheap by any measure. Rents are roughly half of what you pay in central Tokyo. The airport is 15 minutes from downtown, and Fukuoka has been actively courting foreigner residents and businesses for years, which means the infrastructure for arriving foreigners is better than you'd expect for a city that size. There are also people who leave Tokyo for rural Japan entirely. Akiya, abandoned houses, agriculture, a complete change of pace. That's a whole other conversation, but it starts with the same question. Once the novelty of Tokyo wears off, what are you actually optimizing for? The honest answer. Tokyo is the right call for a lot of people, especially when you're first arriving. The support structure for foreigners is unmatched. The opportunities are real. If your career depends on it, the decision is easy. But Japan is not Tokyo. And one of the things I've watched people discover after a few years here is that the version of Japan that made them fall in love with the place, the neighborhood feel, the quality of life, the pace, is often more accessible outside Tokyo than inside. The practical takeaway, if you're deciding where to land in Japan and your job doesn't require Tokyo, it's worth a serious look at Osaka and Fukuoka before you commit. As a foreigner, you can move more easily, but most people's experience of Japan gets shaped by the first place they settle. And that first choice deserves more thought than, well, everyone goes to Tokyo. In the next episode, we'll talk about why foreigners who've been in Japan for a few years keep ending up in Osaka, what the Kansai region actually offers, and what you'd be trading to get it. So stick around and stay tuned for the next one.